Mini tools always come with some sort of a trade-off, and that's exactly why I've been on the hunt to find the best small tools that actually still work. So in this search, I've found tools that I've never seen before, as well as some of the most proven in the game, and we even have a few that I genuinely don't know why no one's talking about. So these are 13 mini tools that are actually worth picking up. Starting off at number 1, this little kit here is one of my favorites by far. This I've never had before. I've never had any of the Wiha GoBoxes, but this thing here is a banger. And let me tell you why. Not only does it come with these bits here, which are the blue Terminator bits, which you guys have been recommending for a long time, and it's actually the reason I picked up this kit. It's one of the reasons that inspired this video, because I found this and I was like, why haven't more people been talking about this? Why haven't I seen this anywhere else? This thing is an absolute beast. It's a gem, and I'm happy that I finally have it now. So the bits work. They work really well. Wiha, I know they make some great tools. I've heard that their bits are fantastic, and having used these now, these are fantastic. They have a great fit, and they do last. Now, the lasting part, I can't speak to. I've had this for less than a week. However, if you do a little bit of research, you can see that they last for a long time. Now, a couple of really cool things. First of all, this case, I'm a sucker for it. It's all metal, and it feels fantastic. And then it's got this little piece in here that's got some texture to it. But basically, it just folds into this little case. So you can even take it out if you want to and use the case, which I love. But more importantly, not only are these just a very compact set of bits, but it also comes with this little mini ratchet. Now you're going to see these little mini ratchets here quite often. There's quite a few of them on this list, and there's a reason for that. Stubbies are cool, but they don't allow for you to get a ton of torque. And if you have like a really small screwdriver, you also can't get a ton of torque on it. However, with this style of driver, it's got quite a bit of leverage on it, so you can actually get a lot of torque on it. Now, that doesn't always work for everything if you don't have a bunch of clearance. However, if we're talking about small tools, this is the trade-off for that, is that you don't get a massive handle in this. We'll get to some other stuff later on that's got some really, really cool options as far as giving you a full-size handle, go through the different sizes and ranges of that. But this also, underneath, comes with a bit driver, which is deep, deep down in here. So if we get this out, it comes with a 1/4-inch bit driver. I think it looks like a 2.5. It's just a normal size of bit driver, okay? But you can put your bits in here, which it comes with a very wide range of them. To be exact, it comes with a ton of torques, okay? Ton of torques. And the last one here is actually a T40, which was confusing to me, but they have a T40 in there. It's also got a 1/4-inch square here, so you can put your 1/4-inch sockets on there, which is cool. Then it comes with 3 posi drives. It comes with 3 sizes of squares. It comes with 6 different sizes of standard hex drive, and then it comes with 4 metric sizes, which is something that I love because we actually do end up with a lot of the metric hex stuff on our equipment, so that's cool. And then it comes with 2 of each size of Phillips, so 1, 2, and 3. It's got 2 of those. Those are in the end here. So it's a great assortment of bits. Comes with the impact rated extension here, which is going to not only allow for you to put all of these in your impact. So if you have this kit, you have pretty much every size of driver that you need, but you can also use this as a ratchet. So this can be a standalone kit for small stuff. And then on top of that, this doubles, and you can actually put an extension on here if you need a little bit more reach. If it's too deep down, like if there's stuff in the way, you can get a little bit more reach. I absolutely love that. The quality of this little mini ratchet here is phenomenal, by the way. I've never had this one, but the button on the back is pretty substantial. It's really hard to miss. It does feel really well made. It's got some stippling on the back here, so you can actually spin this with your finger to start it up, which is cool. And stubbies, again, they're great. However, sometimes like this gives you so much better of an option if you have the room to do this from the side, because it takes up so much less space than a stubby. I mean, that is no room at all. And then on top of that, you can actually get leverage because you have this sticking off to the side and you're not just trying to grab a little tiny stubby. And truthfully, inspired a lot of these purchases from this video. So I'm super excited to show you guys these. A lot of brand new stuff. I was very impressed for this because this comes in under $30, which is insane. Absolutely crazy, especially for getting the mini ratchet in there as well as the extender and all of these different bits, which again, the blue Terminator bits are fantastic. I've used them and tried them now. I know that they fit. And if you go look at all of the reviews from across the internet, people rave about these bits. Probably one of the most talked about bits that I've had on the channel. So, oddly similar. I actually got this one before I got the mini box. I ordered it a while ago. This is the new Klein 20-piece micro ratcheting set. A lot of similarities between this kit and the last kit. I had no idea, and to be truthful with you, each one of them has a couple pros and a couple cons, so we'll kind of compare them here in a second, but I'll show you just the general stuff. First of all, this is a KNECT box, which means it's going to connect to all of your mod boxes or your other KNECT boxes. So if you're super into that system, it's kind of a no-brainer. But if we open this up, you see a bit extension, you see a tiny ratchet, and bits. So as far as bits go, this one does actually come with flatheads, which is kind of a big deal. Obviously, you can change these bits out to be whatever you want it to be, but you got a ton of Torx. You've got some Allens down here, and then one up here, which is going to be your 1/4 inch. You've got a 1/4 inch square right here. So you've got a number 1 and a number 2 square. Then you've got all of your Phillips as well, which is actually only going to be one number 1 and one number 2. However, you are obviously able to change this out to be whatever you want it to be. And that's the pro of this little kit. It just gives you something to organize all your stuff. 1/4 inch bits are replaceable. So if you want to take them out, you're not buying this as a bit case. You're buying this as a small compact case to carry your bits in. That's the reality of it. You're going to run through your bits. The Klein ProFlex bits are amazing. I love them. Klein makes some awful bits that are the all black versions, but these bits here that have the orange loop on them are amazing. They're the bits that I use every day so far. I've actually been looking to get the blue Wiha bits. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but these are the bits that I've been using, and I've been very, very impressed with how well they work. So the ratchet is going to be pretty similar to all of the other ratchets here. It's got the switcher on the back. It's got stippling on it, so you can actually move this with your hand. As far as the smoothness goes, I would say it's probably not as smooth as the Wiha, but it's not going to be an issue. It's not a problem at all. And this kit, again, gives you the exact same thing that the Wiha does, where even if you just have this kit, you're able to tighten or loosen something with this little mini ratchet driver here and actually get torque on it. And you have the bit extension as well to either put in here to use as an extension or to put in your impact. And that's honestly the biggest thing. Having that versatility with these impact rated bits is huge, because it's not just like good for a mini kit, it's good for everything. Now, the locking system on this, normally the Klein KNECT boxes, they like spring shut. This one does not. That's not a big deal to me, but it's a cool little kit. The big thing that you're going to get out of this is the size difference. This one is quite a bit wider in the Klein box. However, this one here is quite a bit wider. So it really depends on where you're trying to fit them and what it's going in. So if it's going in your pocket, or whether it's going in a bag or somewhere where you just don't have a lot of space, these are both really cool kits. And I think it really just depends on what you like and what fits your style. If you got a bunch of the Klein KNECT stuff, then this one really, it's kind of a no-brainer if you're already carrying in Klein KNECT stuff. However, if you're looking to put it in a thinner pocket versus this is a little bit of a chunkier boy. However, as far as cases go, the Wiha's cooler. I feel like it's a little bit higher quality, and it's a standalone kit. I do wish they had a driver in them somehow, but if you're like me, then you're gonna have a good dedicated driver anyway, so you can actually get some torque down on them. These are just gonna give you the bits that actually will allow for you to do that. Now, inspired by these first Wiha GoBox is going to be the Wiha Pocket Max. This is kind of the balance with this. I wanted to get things that were small enough to fit in your pocket. And then I was like, well, it's kind of relative, because one thing that fits in your pocket isn't going to be as effective as one thing that's not. And so we started to go up the line a little bit. So it's mostly very, very small tools. And this one, it counts. Okay, this is an extremely small driver. It's called the Pocket Max for a reason. Now, if I take this out especially, it is just teeny tiny. And if we go ahead and pop this back off, you can see there are 4 other bits back here, which is pretty sweet. Okay, now, my one complaint is I wish there was one more holder in this, because that way I could actually put the driver in here in the back. The option that I have is to get rid of one of these. However, I would like to have all 5 of these, because it's got a number 2 square, number 1 Phillips. So it's got a 3.5 and a 6.5 flathead. So in all reality, I'm probably going to get rid of the smaller flathead because I don't run into those as much, but I want my number 1 Phillips and I want my number 2 square, and I definitely want my number 2 Phillips. I do wish it had some sort of system where it only came out like this far and then boom, that way there's no potential for me losing it. It does have a magnet in there and it is pretty strong, so I'm not super worried about losing it. However, I'm really talented when it comes to losing things. Like, it's a special skill of mine, but if you're able to store that front blade in the back section here, then this becomes so much smaller. There's also no sharp objects on it. So that way, putting it in your pocket or putting it in a bag somewhere where you're really trying to save space is a lot easier. This is a smaller driver. It's not going to be as long either, but this is also insulated, which is crazy. And they have the slimline blades, so you don't have to worry about not being able to reach. This thing has some absolutely sweet features. Also, the handles on these Wihas are nice. The red is a rubber and the yellow is a harder plastic. So it gives you a lot of texture, and even with this being a smaller driver, you're still able to put quite a bit of torque down. It's a little bit thicker here in the middle, gets thinner, which is perfect for the way that your hand actually grabs stuff, okay? They're not just the flat, just cylinder screwdrivers that we're used to here in America. Those are the worst. This is just extremely, extremely compact. So this is where it got really difficult to decide what is a small mini tool and what is just like a multi-tool that's super compact. This one here landed on the list because if you have this shrunk down, it's basically the same size. It's actually a little bit shorter than the Pocket. It does fit everywhere, and this has a couple of features that I absolutely love, so I had to include it in this list because it fits just about anywhere. And where this is insulated and there's thinner blades, this gives you a few more options and a few more things that are just very, very versatile. Number 1, this is the new version. You can get the old version that's a lot less expensive, but without the ratcheting here. So this is ratcheting, which is cool. So you can actually spin this with your hand. You've got a set mode as well, so you can use it as a regular screwdriver, and then you can go back. Like I said, it collapses, and it's not very big when it's collapsed. So that part of it's sweet. This also comes out if you hold that green piece down, so you can put this in your impact. And then on top of that, if you go ahead and press this green button, the bit carousel pops out, and you've got 6 different bits to choose from. That means that you can put this bit in here and not have any bit in the front if you're trying to be very gentle with whatever you're in, which is nice. You can also just take this out completely and have them separate if you're that desperate for space. However, you also have the ability to customize these. That's the beautiful thing about 1/4-inch bits and tools, multi-drivers specifically, that take 1/4-inch bits, similar to all of these ratchets, is you can put whatever bits you want to in there, and they're not gonna be like this, where they have a very particular size and style. If you strip out one of these or mess one of these up, like, you're not getting one today. That's just a fact. However, if I blow any of these bits up or lose any of them, strip any of them, do whatever, I can replace this bit tomorrow. I don't have to special order anything, which I'm horrible at. So you do lose a lot of the reach, and I will say this one is quite a bit thicker. The version without the ratcheting is a lot thinner, probably a little bit lighter as well. However, this is a full-blown handle. You're gonna be able to actually put as much torque down on this as you want to. As any driver that you have, this one's solid. And with it squeezing down like this, it just gives you so much more room, and it saves you a ton of space. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, this one here, I had to include it to show because this is going to be like all of these kits combined. And the reason that I had to include it is because not only does it give you a full screwdriver, also goes in your impact, also moves sizes as well. There is no bit carousel on this, but this little kit also has 6, 7 different sizes of your standard sockets in here, as well as probably the most bits out of any of the kits, and an extension for it to go in your impact as well. This is like a full service kit where probably like 3 mini kits put together would be this. So I had to include it because the extension on this also does make it miniature, okay? You can see about the same size, probably the exact same size as the Wiha Mini. Now, if we want to extend this out, we just pull back this lever. That's the first space. This is the second, the third, and we can even have an extended driver. Then it comes out and it can go in our impact. We can use any of these Klein ProFlex bits, which is a substantial amount. And we can also customize those, put whatever bits we want to in there. It connects to the Klein KNECT system, which is awesome. And it all fits in this little tiny box. So this isn't going in your pocket. However, when we start getting into the more kit style, where it's like an do it all in one, this gives you a the most effective methods that you can have for any type of nut driver or to go into your impact, and as well as screwdrivers that will also go and work in your impact. This kit has grown on me slowly. I didn't love it when it first came out, and the more I use it, the more I like take it with me to do random stuff, and I'm like, oh, I have every size of driver, whether that's a nut driver or a fastener that I need. It's hard to beat. Back to the extremely small. These are the Knipex XS, the extra smalls. These Cobras are my favorite set of pliers. And so this little tiny set, I really thought it was a joke at first. So I got them. I was like, this will be like a fun novelty thing for me to have. But truthfully, they grip really well still, and they take up absolutely no space in your pocket. I do love how it's been like skeletonized, which is not probably a word, but you can see they really took off a lot of this, so it's lighter and thinner and smaller. But you have this back plate here, which has stippling on it, so you're actually still able to get it. There is no push button on these, so you actually just move them. You open them up and move them, and to push them back up, you can just push, which is really nice for finding the right size. They're small. These grab so much better than my hand will ever be able to grab. And I can put leverage on stuff. This isn't like I want to use these all the time, but this is like in a pinch where I have no room, or where I'm not carrying a bunch of stuff. If these are just in my pocket, then I'm good to go, and I can do little stuff with these. I thought they were cute, but it turns out that, of course, just like everything else that Knipex makes, they're actually extremely high quality. Now, they do have larger sizes than this that are still very small. I think this is a 4-inch set. I want to say they have a 5-inch set as well. And then it goes up to 7.5 with different grips, different everything. But these are my daily pliers, the 10-inch versions of these. And I was like, man, I'll get these and be a fanboy. But it turns out that they actually can be useful. I'm not going to put this on a, like, everybody needs to get this set. However, if you like small tools, if you like Knipex or the Cobras, or like an EDC type of thing, this is a solid one to get. The quality is amazing. I am not surprised one bit. I just didn't expect to like them as much as I do. One of the beefier kits, but it does not have to be. It's also brand new, okay? This is the Modular tool check from Wera. The Wera tool check is coming up, the basic old one, but this one here, I was super excited for Wera to get into, and there's a reason for that. All of these pieces come apart. So if there's something in this little kit that you are like, I would never use that, you don't have to. But it does fold very nicely. So it's super compact still, especially for all the different functions that you get in this. You can fold it out, and you can also just get rid of this middle piece if you want to, and you want to just have it be a little bit shorter. Also a possibility. Literally every section of this comes off. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that now. These are the metric Allens. This is all of the Modular's tool stuff that they have now. If I know Wera, which I don't have any like insider information on this, but my assumption would be that this line is going to expand because they made it modular. It's going to have a lot more than just these kits on it. I love these kits. They're amazing, but I have a feeling they're going to have some more cool stuff in here. So in order to get this metric Allen off, we'll go from the left to the right. You have to pull this back slot off of the mini drivers, and it just pops up like so. It's not super easy to take this off. It's not super difficult. You don't want it to be either one of those. But that way, when it is on, this isn't coming off. But if you're like, I'll never use metric Allens, take them off, toss them, get rid of them. It also means that if you want just this section with the metric Allens, that you can do that. It means literally every single part of this is interchangeable. Now we'll go ahead and take off the mini driver, and we'll put the lid back on so I can show you. These are all available for purchase separately. So if you just want one piece and not the other, or you're like, yeah, you guys get it, don't you? Also, there will be links to all of this stuff in the description, as well as they're tagged on the YouTube shopping. Those should be popping up for you. If they're not, they're in the YouTube shopping in the description. So the micro driver, the modular version, this one here is super cool. So it's got a bunch of different bits up top. There's 6 bits in total up top. Then there's 4 on the back portion here. So if we push this up, I can fold this out, and there's 8 more bits. So in this back section here, on the left side here, these are going to all be Allens, the smallest Allens you've ever seen in the world. And then this is going to be a mixed batch on the other side. To be specific, the smallest Allen I've ever seen in my life, okay? There's a smaller Phillips, and then there's 2 posi drives. And then up top, you're gonna have 6 different sizes of Torx bits over here. And then on the left side, you're gonna have 3 Phillips and 3 flatheads on this side here. Now, the driver is super cool. It's not massive, which is not a big deal, okay? It's a micro driver. It's not like you need to put a ton of torque on it anyway. The biggest difference that I see from this to a regular micro driver is the length. But I don't think that's a massive issue, especially not for a modular kit. However, if that's an issue, then that's an issue for you. These are 4mm bits. These are not 1/4 inch or like anything standard. So I think you can get different bits if you want to. They're like, I think it's a 2-inch, just about a 2-inch bit. But yeah, let's measure it. It is not a 2-inch bit. So these are about 1 1/4 inches, the 4mm bits. So I don't know if there's a ton of these, if there's like a weird size that you specifically need. However, it all fits in this nice little case. It's got a nice little cover to it. It's modular, so it's got the shoes on this side. There's adapters for you to put different stuff on there, which is incredibly nice. But we'll go ahead and move on. And we'll go ahead and take this piece off here that rotates. So literally every single piece of this is modular, and each piece of these come individually. So if I can get this off, which I did, we can just slide this piece off. Now I'll go ahead and push this back on here so we can actually get a look at this, because this is probably the piece about this that I'm actually like the most excited about. I've loved the Tool Check Plus for forever. This one has some things in it that I think I like more. Starting off with number one, this mini ratchet. Yeah, you guessed it. It comes with a mini ratchet. This is a ton different though. This is a chopped up mini Cyclops, and it's got this little 1/4 inch thing on here. You're like, well, that's weird. Well, it actually gives this handle a little bit of usage. So this is the same handle that they put on the Imperial Tool Check Plus, but it's just so small that like in order to use this as a screwdriver, it really feels just kind of pointless. With the longer bits on there, it doesn't look too bad because of the length. It's just so small that it's really impossible to get a lot of torque on it. It's not something you want to use often, if ever. However, when you have this as just like a little go kit, it is really nice to actually have a halfway decent handle on there. Now, if we go ahead and put this Cyclops on here though, this turns this into a legitimate 1/4 inch ratchet. So now we've got the 1/4 inch adapter in here as well. So we'll go ahead and slap that on there. Again, 4 sockets on the bottom. You're gonna have 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16. So we'll just say we want to go ahead and use the 7/16. These are the compression. These aren't the twist off. These are the compression held ones. And we'll go ahead and put this little guy on here. And this is like not super industrial, but this is a good size 1/4 inch ratchet. You're actually going to be able to put some torque down on this. And for that whole thing to fit in this little kit, as well as all of the other features that are on here, it's this one is pushing hard for being my favorite kit of this size. That is one major benefit. I just absolutely love this little mini ratchet. It obviously changes directions. It's all metal, and then it also has the stippling on the edge. Probably the smoothest out of all of the mini ratchets. Very close to the Wiha. They're probably very similar, but I do like the Wera versions better. That being said, they are a lot more expensive than the Wiha as well. But in this little kit, we've also got some really cool bits, which are going to be upgraded from the regular tool check. And they're going to have not as many bits, but they're going to have these 2-inch bits in here, which I just absolutely love. So it comes with it for the 2-inch number 1, number 2 square, number 1, number 2 Phillips, flathead, and it also comes with an extension here as well. So you can make any of your bits this much longer, whether that's the smaller bits or whether that's the 2-inch bits, which is cool to get a little bit more reach. You can also put them in your impact if you want to, or in this handle, which is really, really nice. And then also, one of the cool things about these is when you open this up, these actually do fold over so you can get your fingers in there without jamming them and doing all of that. It's just a cool thing. I don't know. How important is it? Not super. But do I like it? Yeah. They also have these bits with the Take It Easy Tool Finder markings on there. These are going to be their BTZ bits, which aren't impact rated, but I've definitely ran all of these in an impact. Not this set here specifically, but I've had a set of BTZ bits that I've ran in an impact for probably way too long. But you shouldn't do that. Don't be like me. And we've got 4 different hex sizes back here, which these are going to be the 3/16 is the largest, and the smallest is going to be a 3/32. So you got some really small hex back there, which is going to be nice. As a little tiny kit, I don't know, something about this, I just love it. And if you really don't care for the handle that much, which again, normally I don't, like I typically take the handle off of my tool checks because I just don't ever use it. I carry something like this with me so I can actually use them and like be effective with them. But if you really want to take it off, you can take it off as well. And then you can just have this tiny little kit here. Now you don't have a bit driver or a ratchet, but if you're like, man, that thing sucks, give it the boot. So we're gonna go ahead and slap all this stuff back together. We're gonna have to take all of these off, which is annoying if you're doing a video on this and like have to take them on and put them on a bunch. But if you're trying not to lose your stuff, because you're probably gonna get to your one setup that you like and you're gonna keep it like that. So for you guys, it doesn't really matter. You know what? And it's really not that big of a pain, even for me. So we'll just go ahead and smack all of these back in, which happens pretty fast. And then we'll go ahead and put the covers on them as well. And boom. And it's done. And you can have it lay like this and have it long ways if you need it thinner, or you can mash it all up and you're done. Bringing it back to the ratchets, Klein makes one of these as well. Milwaukee's has a few different things that'll actually allow for you to run it as just a basic ratchet, which is obviously going to be the smallest form that you can possibly run it in. Number one on that is going to be this little bit case. Now, how important is this? Not super, but it actually keeps the bits on here. So you don't have like 15 or 20 different bits. However, you can put in your main bits that you use all the time and just have this in a bag somewhere. And you can even hook it up on a D-ring or on something with this little piece up here, which I absolutely love. So that is the main thing about this that makes it completely different, is that you can run this solo because it actually has a way for you to store bits. Now, there's literally no way for you to carry bits on any of the other ratchets. They don't have this opening. The Klein does, but it doesn't open with this little carabiner piece here. So that part of it's really nice. And this one's got a lot more, it's got a lot more oomph to it, you know? Like this back section, it's a lot heavier. It's a lot heavier duty. The other ones are going to be great too. You're going to be able to put as much torque as you really need to with most stuff on them. But if we go ahead and push this little bit in here, it slides in pretty deep, pretty far back there. It's got the stippling on the front here, so you can actually go. I think it's called knurling, maybe. It's stippling to me, because that's just what we do here in America. So I don't know. I've always called it stippling, but it could probably be either one. And the other cool part about this one is on one side, it has the 1/4 inch bit driver you can use as a 1/4 inch nut driver. But then on the back side, it's got a 5/16 nut driver as well. So it's a little bit larger. So you actually have two sizes of nuts that you can drive. And the magnets on this thing are, I think they're a little bit too strong. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it takes quite a bit of force to actually get this bit out of here. It takes a considerable more amount of force to get this out than it does to get the bits out of any of the others. I've never lost any out of my other drivers, so it's not a complaint. It's just, I don't know. Milwaukee killed this one. I didn't expect theirs to be this good, but there's some features on this that are just very, very original. And they make it extremely useful for you to be able to do this without like having to have a whole kit. You can actually kind of run this on its own. You can put this in a bag, in your backpack, on the outside, whatever. And one thing to note too is this even like fits perfectly in this little groove, because I just put it on backwards and realized that this even goes like the opposite direction. Now, not only that, you can customize these as well. It comes with a 1/4 inch square, two sizes of flat heads, and a number 1 and number 2 Phillips. They're going to be the 1/4 inch and the 3/16 flat head, which the price on this kit's also pretty low, which is cool. But I don't know. I like this kit here from Milwaukee, and this is one that I wasn't sure if I was going to love from them, but they crushed it. Now, Wiha killed this one. This is one of their new ones. A bunch of companies just started making these, and I don't understand. Klein made one as well. Spider made one. I actually have the Klein one, and it's not on the list for a reason. And I don't hate it, but I just like this setup so much better. It's a lot more compact. Also, the features you get on it are they're really nice. This one's not going to come with a handle. This is going to be an impact accessory, or if you're like me and you carry this 1/4-inch driver, you can literally take the handle out, put your 1/4-inch drive in this instead, and now you have all of these, and now you have 7 different sizes of nut drivers, and they also go in your impact. They're all impact rated, and Wiha makes some fantastic sockets. Surprise, surprise. But the cool thing about this kit is it actually gives you a way to carry sockets inside of your bag without sacrificing a ton of functionality. It comes with this extension on the top here, which is nice, but all of these fold over, so you can have this be longer, or you can have this be just a little bit thicker, but this doesn't take up much room at all. These are the standard. The red is the standard, the blue is the metric, so it gives you all in 3/8 drive, which is nice. So these are going to be heavy duty. They are impact rated as well. It tops out at 5/8 and ends at a 1/4-inch. So you've got a pretty wide range, and obviously you're going to have everything you need for the major sizes of sockets. It's also got this little loop down here. If you're not carrying this in a bag and you want to carry this on the outside of something, you're able to do that. Slide a little rope through there, or a carabiner or whatever, and you can hang this from the top. It's not very long. It's not very wide. It's the perfect size to be a small, compact tool. It's the smallest kit. It's the only compact kit for sockets alone that has an extension on it as well. Like something you can fit in your bag. Typically people give you the rails and they don't fit well anywhere. This is compact. It's nice. I like this set from Wiha. The kit of all kits, the Wera Tool Check Plus. This is going to be probably the best do-it-all kit. It has some downfalls, right? Like the size of driver here, you don't get a ton of driver. But it also comes with a ton of absolutely amazing features in a very, very compact size. This is the new edition, which basically, it's got some different bits, and it's got this locking mechanism on it. So now this will open. If we push this down, it won't open now. Other than that, there's some color differentiation, and they also changed out the bits to be the Take It Easy tool finder bits, which have the color on them. Outside of that, there's not a huge difference. If I was buying this kit today, I would get this one. I would get the new one just because of the lock on it. It's really nice. You don't have stuff falling out. It was a great tool, and it obviously is still going to be a great tool. I love this thing. A little bit of a rundown. You've got all of these different socket sizes on the bottom. These are all color-coded, which is extremely nice. I love color coding on anything. Sockets especially, wrenches, things that it's kind of hard to tell what's what from a distance. But if I see this yellow socket laying around, I know it's my 1/4-inch socket. This one also comes with all of the tools. A lot of them have just come with the ratchet, which this one has. It's probably my favorite one outside of the 1/4-inch one from the modular Wera set, but it's super smooth. It looks cool. It works really, really well. I don't know. I've had this one for a while now, and I absolutely love it. I have it in the old tool check. I have it by itself. I have one of these in every bag because they make the world's best stubby. Not only that, but the same way of like, if you really need to get some torque down and this little driver here is not cutting it, you can slap it in this thing here and you can go. You've also got a bit extension here. This is going to be one of the thicker bit holders, which personally I like. I like the thicker bit holders. Sometimes they get in the way, but I typically carry some long bits for that as well. But you just don't have to worry about losing your bits ever. It locks in place. You just push it up in order to get a bit in there. So we'll go ahead and slap our number 2 in there. It's in there. It's not going anywhere. If I really go crazy on a screw, it's not going to stick in there when I pull it out. If I use my impact, like I don't have to worry about dropping it. I don't have to worry about it coming out. The bit layout is also pretty cool. We'll go ahead and put this in here. This just slides over to make sure that the ratchet doesn't fall out. So if we go ahead and slide that back in, now you can see all of these different bits. And just like the modular set, these do separate so you can actually get your fingers in there. We've got a ton of different squares. We've got a ton of security torques. We've got 4 different sizes of Allens. This is going to be the Imperial set, so these are going to all be standard sizes. And then we've got T10 through T30 regular Torx, and then the T40 is the one that's not marked here. So you do have all the way up to T40, 2 number 1 Phillips, 3 number 2 Phillips, and 1 number 3. Then on the end here we have 1 flathead, which is a 5.5. And then there starts into the smaller Allens. There's 1 small Allen up here, which is a 3/16. Just overall, the best kit. It just has everything that you need from sockets. You can obviously make a ratchet with your small ratchet. You can make a screwdriver with your screwdriver. You can use your ratchet as a stubby. You can put these in your impacts, whether that's the sockets, which covers all of the major sizes, except for 9/16. That's the only one that I wish they had in this kit that they actually have in the other kit, which is nice. And they have all of these bits, which I can just pretty much pull out and do whatever, including security Torx. Back with the extremely small, but not super versatile, the Knipex plier wrench. This is going to be the XS, the smallest version that they have, which is a 4-inch version. The biggest difference between this and the Cobras are going to be that this has flat jaws that stay parallel. This is going to be great for nuts and bolts, things with flat edges on them. The pliers wrench itself is amazing. It's basically a baby adjustable wrench, okay? It's a baby adjustable wrench, but like way better, because you can actually use this as a set of pliers. You can put pressure down. You can see there's a movement in these jaws, which is cool. And so you can actually like put pressure on there. It goes up and down really nicely. Again, in order to push it up, you could just have to push up, which is really nice for finding the size of something. And to get it down, you open these up all the way, push down. Super easy. You can do it one-handed as well. These are fitting in your pocket. These are fitting anywhere, including the tightest spaces in the world. I wasn't going to get these, and then I got the Cobras, the miniature ones, and I was like, I think I have to go for it, because just like these are my favorite set of water pump pliers, or the channel lock style, I also love the pliers wrench dearly. Got it and was like, I think I'm going to get the baby ones of these as well. They're awesome. These are chrome plated, which obviously is great for rust and different things like that. They don't open up super wide, but when it's just for small nuts and bolts, different things like that, or just pinching something and getting a hold of it, these are just, they're a gem. Now, this is the only stubby that I'll carry, and it's the Wera ratcheting version. Again, 1/4-inch bits, so it's super versatile. If we go ahead and pop this back portion off, which I'm not going to be able to do with one hand right now, you can see there's a bit carousel in the back with 6 different bits, customizable because you can put whatever 1/4-inch bits you want to in there. For a stubby, typically you either have proprietary bits if it's a multi-driver, so you can only have whatever they make as a proprietary thing. So if you need a T15 stubby, you can't make it. But in this, you just have to get your security Torx bit out of there, slap it in here, and you're good to go. Now, the other part, again, the ratcheting on this one is phenomenal. This means that you can spin it with your fingers. You can also have it as a regular driver. It's also incredibly smooth. I don't typically like ratcheting anything outside of ratchets or the bit driver, the little 1/4-inch ratchets, but there's like no drag on this. It's not incredibly heavy. It's not super unbalanced. I really like the new ratcheting multi-drivers from Wera. I love Wera stuff in general. And this one here, no different. Being able to spin this with your fingers to get stuff started is just huge. It's also just the nicest fidget toy in the world. And it's incredibly versatile with the 1/4-inch piece. These are an absolute win for me. I love the stubbies from Wera. And last but not least, also inspired by the first Wiha GoBox that I got, this one here, I have less of a usage for because it's a micro driver. However, extremely small kit, and it's beautiful. First of all, the case, All metal. It's super nice. It closes well. It's just got this little piece in here that we can take out. So if you don't want to carry it in there, if you have something else or you want something in this case, you can. It's got all the markings up top, which will wear off eventually. This is nothing. You're not going to have a ton of stuff in here. But you can also use the top of this case to put little screws in, little things in so you don't lose them. Now, if we go ahead and get this handle out, which is, it's beautiful. This one, the magnet on it is phenomenal. I'll let you, one more, oof. It feels so good. It collects really, really well. Very strong magnet. The one thing that I don't love about this is how long it is. It's just a little bit too long for a micro driver. It does come with all of these different sizes, so you're gonna have a ton of different options. So if we go ahead and pull one of these out, you can see with the bit in there especially, it's just got a ton of length. Like so much length. I don't typically say that, but this one is it. What I will say though that I love about the handle, the connection, but also the feel of this handle. This is my first micro driver from Wiha. The whole cap spins, which is nice, which is so you can put pressure on it with these micro drivers. Things are typically smaller. You can have a free hand, put pressure on it and still spin it so you don't lose anything. Also, this black is got a lot of texture to it. It's a rubber, like a softer rubber, so there's like actually some grip to it, which feels amazing. And then on top of that, the red is a harder plastic, so you still have some solid pieces, but the build quality of this is amazing. The price on this is amazing. I wish they made more Go boxes. I don't think they do. I'm gonna do some more research, but I literally got this one in, I think, 3 days ago because I have been using the other Go box so much. But if you're into the micro drivers, you've got between this kit and the one from Wera. Now, Wera did just release a ton of new tools, and I bought them all. So if you want to see that video, you can head up here. Remember, it's all for his glory, and I will see you guys on the next one.